My partner has an accident, and I seek the truth. I discover suspicious transfers and an involved businessman. The betrayal comes from within our circles. The truth emerges, but a new threat appears. I never thought my life would turn into a maze of secrets and lies. Standing here in my Manhattan penthouse, watching the city lights flicker like distant stars, I can't help but replay the events that led me to this moment. My name is Isabella Martinez, and 6 months ago, my world shattered when my fiancé, Alexander Reed, one of New York's most prominent philanthropists, vanished without a trace. The media called it an accident, a tragic yacht incident off the coast of Miami. But something never felt right about the whole situation. Alex was too careful, too methodical to simply disappear. The night before the incident, he had called me, his voice filled with an urgency I'd never heard before. "Isabella, there's something you need to know," he had said. "Meet me tomorrow at our usual spot." But he never showed up. I remember the first time I met Alex. It wasn't at some glamorous charity gala or high society event where you'd expect to meet a billionaire philanthropist. No, I found him sitting on a park bench in Central Park, dressed in tattered clothes, appearing to be homeless. As a social worker, I had approached him, offering assistance. He had smiled mysteriously and declined, but something about his eyes, sharp, intelligent, and kind, caught my attention. It took 3 weeks of bringing him coffee every morning before he revealed his true identity. He was conducting social research for his foundation, living among the homeless to understand their needs better. That was Alex. Unconventional, brilliant, and genuinely committed to making a difference. Our love story blossomed naturally, despite the raised eyebrows and whispered rumors about the billionaire and the social worker. But Alex never cared about social expectations. "You see people, Bella," he would say, "not their circumstances." Now, as I stand in his office, surrounded by the remnants of his life, something catches my eye. A small discrepancy in his financial records that I've been reviewing for the past week. A series of transfers to offshore accounts beginning just days before his disappearance. The amounts are significant, millions of dollars moving through a complex web of shell companies. My hands shake as I dig deeper into the records. Alex had always been transparent about his finances, especially since his foundation dealt with substantial charitable donations. These transactions don't fit his pattern. They're erratic, hidden behind layers of corporate facades I've never heard of before. A name catches my eye. James Morrison. The name sounds familiar, and after a few minutes of searching through Alex's old files, I remember why. Morrison was a business rival who had tried to sabotage one of Alex's major charitable projects 3 years ago. The project was aimed at providing affordable housing to low-income families in Brooklyn, but Morrison had wanted the land for luxury condominiums. Alex had won that battle, but the victory had come at a cost. Morrison had sworn revenge. The sound of footsteps outside the office makes me freeze. It's well past midnight, and the foundation's offices should be empty. I quickly save the financial records to my tablet and slip into the shadows behind a large filing cabinet. The door opens, and Patricia Chen, Alex's longtime assistant and one of my closest friends at the foundation, enters the room. She moves with purpose, heading straight for Alex's private safe. I watch in disbelief as she enters the combination, a combination that only Alex and I should know. The safe opens with a soft click, and Patricia begins photographing documents with her phone. My heart pounds against my ribs. Patricia has been with the foundation for 15 years. She helped build it from the ground up with Alex. She was there for our engagement party, helped plan our wedding. What is she doing here in the middle of the night, secretly accessing confidential documents? I must have made a sound because Patricia suddenly stiffens and looks around. "Is someone there?" she calls out, her voice steady but with an edge I've never heard before. I hold my breath, pressing myself further into the shadows. After what feels like an eternity, she closes the safe, straightens her jacket, and leaves the office. My mind races with questions. The offshore accounts, Morrison's connection, and now Patricia's suspicious behavior. They're all pieces of a puzzle I'm only beginning to understand. Alex's last words to me echo in my head. "There's something you need to know." Walking back to my car in the underground parking garage, I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. The concrete structure seems more menacing than usual, each shadow potentially hiding secrets I'm not ready to face. As I reach for my car door, A reflection in the window stops me cold. A figure standing in the darkness behind me. I spin around, keys clutched between my fingers as a weapon, but the figure steps into the light. It's Marcus Thompson, the Foundation's head of security, looking as surprised to see me as I am to see him. "Ms. Martinez, what are you doing here so late?" he asks, his deep voice echoing in the empty garage. I force a smile, trying to keep my voice steady. "Just picking up some documents I forgot earlier. What about you?" His answer seems rehearsed. "Regular security rounds. You should be careful staying here so late by yourself." As I drive home through the empty streets of Manhattan, my mind whirls with possibilities. The foundation Alex built with love and dedication now seems like a facade hiding darker truths. But I'm not going to let fear stop me. Alex always said I was the strongest person he knew, and now it's time to prove him right. Tomorrow I'll start digging deeper into Morrison's connection. Someone knows what really happened to Alex, and I'm going to find out who. The truth is out there, hidden in plain sight, and I won't rest until I uncover it. For Alex, for the Foundation, and for all the people who depend on us, I have to find the truth, no matter the cost. The morning sun streams through my office window at the Reed Foundation, but I barely notice it. I've spent the last 3 hours cross-referencing financial documents, trying to make sense of the web of transactions I discovered last night. My coffee has gone cold, untouched, as I follow the money trail that might lead me to answers about Alex. A knock on my door startles me. Patricia enters, looking immaculate as always in her tailored suit. If I hadn't seen her sneaking around last night, I would never suspect anything was amiss. She smiles warmly, but I notice it doesn't quite reach her eyes. "Isabella, the board members are asking about the annual charity gala," she says, placing a folder on my desk. "We need to decide if we're going forward with it, given the circumstances." The gala. Alex's pride and joy, where he would announce the Foundation's major initiatives for the year. The thought of hosting it without him makes my chest tighten, but I force myself to focus. "The gala continues as planned," I reply firmly. "Alex would want that." Patricia nods, but there's something in her expression. Relief or disappointment. I'll start the preparations then. Oh, and James Morrison's office called again. He wants to schedule a meeting about potential collaboration. My pulse quickens at Morrison's name, but I keep my face neutral. Tell him I'll think about it. After Patricia leaves, I pull up Morrison's company records. On paper, everything looks legitimate. Successful real estate developments, charitable contributions, glowing press coverage. But there's something else, something that catches my eye. 3 of the shell companies receiving transfers from Alex's accounts share board members with Morrison's subsidiaries. I'm so engrossed in my research that I almost miss the notification popping up on my screen. An email from an anonymous address. The subject line reads, "About Alexander Reed." My hands hover over the keyboard for a moment before I open it. Inside is a single image. A security camera photo of Alex entering a building I don't recognize, dated 2 days after his supposed accident. My heart stops. He's alive. Or at least he was when this photo was taken. The timestamp shows 10:47 p.m., and Alex is wearing his favorite charcoal gray suit, the one I gave him for his last birthday. A second email arrives moments later. "Meet me at the Blue Door Cafe, 3 p.m. today. Come alone." The Blue Door Cafe is a small coffee shop in Brooklyn, far from the Foundation's usual territory. I recognize it. It's where Alex and I used to go when we wanted to escape the pressures of his public life. Few people knew about our connection to this place. I spend the next few hours in a daze, going through the motions of my daily responsibilities while my mind races with possibilities. At 2:30, I tell my secretary I'm heading out for a meeting and drive to Brooklyn. The cafe looks exactly as I remember, a cozy corner spot with faded blue paint and mismatched furniture. Inside, the cafe is nearly empty except for an elderly couple and a man sitting alone in the corner, his face hidden behind a newspaper. As I order a cappuccino, the barista, the same one who used to know our regular orders, gives me a strange look, as if she wants to say something but can't. I choose a table with a clear view of both the entrance and the back exit, just as Alex taught me. The man with the newspaper lowers it slightly, and I recognize Marcus Thompson, our head of security. My initial instinct is to leave, but something tells me to stay. If he followed me here, he must have a reason. Marcus sets down his paper and walks over to my table. Without asking, he sits down across from me. "Ms. Martinez," he says quietly, "I know what you're investigating, and you need to be careful. There are things about Mr. Reed's disappearance that don't add up." "Like what?" I ask, studying his face for any sign of deception. "The yacht accident. I reviewed the Coast Guard reports. They're inconsistent with the weather conditions that day. And there's something else." He glances around before continuing. "The night before Mr. Reed disappeared, he called me. He said if anything happened to him, I should give you this." Marcus slides a small USB drive across the table. "I've been waiting for the right moment. After seeing you in the parking garage last night, I knew you were starting to piece things together. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Behind you. Don't turn around. Take the USB and leave separately. You're being watched." My coffee sits untouched as I casually slip the USB drive into my bag. Marcus stands up, straightening his tie. "Good luck, Ms. Martinez. Be careful who you trust." He walks out, leaving me with more questions than answers. As I drive back to Manhattan, my mind races. The photo of Alex, the USB drive, Marcus's warnings. They all point to something bigger than a simple accident or financial fraud. Alex was trying to tell me something the night before he disappeared, and now I might finally discover what it was. Back in my apartment, I plug the USB drive into my laptop, my hands shaking slightly. The drive contains a single video file. When I click play, Alex's face fills the screen. He looks tired, worried, so different from his usual confident self. "Isabella, my love," his recorded voice says, "if you're watching this, it means things didn't go as planned. There's something happening at the foundation. Something I've been trying to uncover. Morrison is just the tip of the iceberg. The truth is in the numbers, in the patterns. Look closer at Project Phoenix. You'll know what to do." The video ends abruptly, leaving me staring at my reflection in the dark screen. Project Phoenix, Alex's most ambitious initiative, aimed at revolutionizing affordable housing across the country. What secrets could be hidden in a charitable project? As night falls over the city, I begin pulling up all the files related to Project Phoenix. Something in these documents holds the key to understanding what happened to Alex. And now, with proof that he might still be alive, I'm more determined than ever to uncover the truth. The pieces are starting to come together, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm being pulled deeper into something dangerous. Alex's words echo in my mind. The truth is in the numbers. Tomorrow, I'll start digging into Project Phoenix, no matter where it leads me. The next morning, I arrive at the foundation earlier than usual. The offices are quiet, with only the hum of the air conditioning breaking the silence. I make my way to the secure records room, my access card granting me entry to the heart of Project Phoenix's documentation. Boxes upon boxes of financial reports, feasibility studies, and architectural plans line the shelves. I start methodically going through them, looking for anything out of the ordinary. Hours pass, and my eyes begin to strain from scanning endless columns of numbers. Just as I'm about to take a break, something catches my attention. In a report dated 3 months before Alex's disappearance, there's a discrepancy in the land acquisition costs for a development in Chicago. The numbers don't match the official records I reviewed earlier. It's subtle. Someone not intimately familiar with the project might miss it, but it's there. I dig deeper, pulling up more files. Similar discrepancies appear in projects across different cities. Small variations in costs, mysterious consultancy fees, properties acquired at inflated prices. Individually, they might seem like simple accounting errors, but together, they paint a disturbing picture. My concentration is broken by a knock on the door. I quickly close the files and turn to see Patricia standing in the doorway. "Isabella, I've been looking for you," she says, her tone casual, but her eyes sharp. "The board wants an update on Project Phoenix. Are you finding everything okay in here?" I force a smile. "Just doing some review. You know how Alex was about double-checking everything." Patricia nods, but I notice her gaze flicker to the open boxes around me. "Of course. Let me know if you need any help." "Oh, and James Morrison called again. He was quite insistent about meeting with you." The mention of Morrison sends a chill down my spine. "Tell him I'm still considering it," I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. After Patricia leaves, I gather the most crucial documents and scan them to my secure cloud storage. As I'm finishing up, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Meet me at Riverside Park, near the 79th Street boat basin. 30 minutes. My instincts tell me to be cautious, but the possibility of getting more information is too tempting to ignore. I leave the office, telling my secretary I'm heading out for a late lunch meeting. The park is bustling with joggers and families enjoying the sunny afternoon. I make my way to the designated spot, constantly scanning my surroundings for any sign of a tail. As I approach the boat basin, I see a familiar figure standing by the railing, gazing out at the Hudson River. It's Marcus Thompson, the head of security. He doesn't look at me as I join him at the railing, both of us seemingly admiring the view. "Ms. Martinez," he says quietly, "I hope you found the information on the drive useful." "It opened up more questions than answers," I reply. "What do you know about Project Phoenix?" Marcus sighs, his expression grave. "It's not just a housing project. There's something else going on, something big. Mr. Reed discovered irregularities in the funding and started investigating. That's when things got dangerous." "Dangerous how?" I ask, my heart racing. Threats started coming in. Subtle at first, then more overt. "Mr. Reed was worried about you, about everyone at the foundation. He thought if he disappeared, it might buy time to uncover the truth." I process this information, my mind whirling. "So the accident, staged," Marcus confirms. "But something went wrong. He was supposed to contact me after a few days, but he never did. I've been trying to find him ever since." Before I can ask more questions, Marcus tenses. "We're being watched. Gray sedan, 2 o'clock. Don't look directly at it." I casually shift my position, catching a glimpse of the car he mentioned. There are 2 men inside, watching us intently. "Who are they?" I whisper. "Not sure, but they've been following you since you left the office. We need to move. There's a water taxi leaving in 5 minutes. Take it to Brooklyn. I'll create a diversion." Without waiting for my response, Marcus starts walking briskly towards the parking lot. I see him intentionally bump into a jogger, causing a scene that draws the attention of our watchers. Taking advantage of the distraction, I hurry to the water taxi dock. As the boat pulls away from the shore, I see the 2 men from the sedan running towards the dock, but it's too late. The taxi is already heading across the river. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Marcus. "Safe house address in your cloud storage. Go there. Don't contact anyone. I'll be in touch." As Brooklyn's shoreline grows closer, my mind races. Alex is alive, or at least he was when he made that video. Project Phoenix is more than just a housing initiative, and now it seems I'm being hunted by unknown forces. The water taxi docks, and I blend into the crowd of tourists and locals. I hail a cab, giving an address a few blocks away from the safe house location. As we drive through Brooklyn streets, I can't help but feel that my life has turned into something out of a thriller novel. The safe house turns out to be a modest apartment in a nondescript building. Inside, I find basic furnishings, a laptop, and a burner phone. There's also an envelope containing cash and a note in Alex's handwriting. "Trust your instincts, my love. You're stronger than you know." As night falls, I sit by the window, watching the city lights flicker to life. I'm no longer just searching for Alex. I'm unraveling a conspiracy that goes deeper than I ever imagined. The weight of the truth, and the danger it brings, settles on my shoulders. Tomorrow, I'll need to dig even deeper into Project Phoenix. Someone out there knows the full story, and I'm determined to find them. But for now, in this quiet apartment, I allow myself a moment to miss Alex, to worry about him, and to steel myself for whatever challenges lie ahead. The game has changed, and the stakes are higher than ever. But I'm not backing down. For Alex, for the truth, for everything we've built together, I'll see this through to the end, no matter what it takes. Dawn breaks over Brooklyn, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold. I've barely slept, my mind racing with the revelations of the past few days. The safe house feels both like a sanctuary and a prison, keeping me hidden but also isolated from the world I'm trying to understand. I power up the laptop Marcus provided, using the secure connection to access the Foundation's servers. Project Phoenix's files are a labyrinth of data, but armed with the knowledge from yesterday's discoveries, patterns begin to emerge. Land purchases at inflated prices, shell companies funneling money through multiple accounts, and a recurring name, Chimera Investments. A quick search reveals that Chimera is a subsidiary of one of James Morrison's holdings. The connection is there, but it's still not clear how deep it goes, or what Alex uncovered that put him in danger. My concentration is broken by a notification on the burner phone. It's a message from an unknown number. Check your email. Delete after reading. Heart pounding. I open the encrypted email account set up on the laptop. There's a single message with an attachment. A voice recording. As I play it, Alex's voice fills the room and my eyes well up with tears. Bella, my love, I hope this reaches you safely. I don't have much time. Project Phoenix isn't what we thought. It's a front for something much bigger. Morrison, the offshore accounts, it's all connected to a group called the Syndicate. They've infiltrated every level of the Foundation. I thought I could expose them, but I underestimated how far they'd go to protect their secrets. I'm sorry for leaving you in the dark, but I needed to protect you. Trust Marcus, and watch out for... The recording cuts off abruptly, leaving me with more questions than answers. The Syndicate? How deep does this conspiracy go? Before I can process this new information, there's a knock at the door. My heart leaps into my throat. No one should know I'm here. I approach cautiously, peering through the peephole. To my shock, I see Patricia standing in the hallway, looking nervous and out of place. Against my better judgment, I open the door. Patricia rushes in, closing it quickly behind her. Isabella, thank God you're safe, she says, her usually composed demeanor cracking. I've been trying to find a way to contact you discreetly. How did you find me? I ask, suspicion coloring my voice. Patricia takes a deep breath. Marcus told me. I know how this looks, but please, hear me out. I've been working with Alex to uncover the Syndicate's operations. My mind reels. The night I saw you in Alex's office, I was gathering evidence, she finishes. Alex had me collecting data on their transactions. But they're onto us. That's why I'm here. We need to move the evidence before they can destroy it. I study Patricia's face, looking for any sign of deception. Her eyes are pleading, desperate. Could I have misjudged her actions? Why should I trust you? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Patricia pulls out a small flash drive. Because of this. It contains everything Alex and I have gathered on the Syndicate's operations. Financial records, communications, names of involved parties. It's the key to bringing them down and finding Alex. My hand trembles as I take the drive. If you've had this all along, why wait until now to come forward? Fear, Patricia admits, her shoulders sagging. The Syndicate's reach is vast. I've seen what they do to people who cross them, but I can't stand by anymore. Alex risked everything to expose them, and now it's our turn to finish what he started. As if on cue, a commotion erupts in the hallway. Heavy footsteps approach, and a gruff voice calls out, "NYPD, open up!" Patricia's eyes widen in panic. "That's not the police," she whispers. "They've found us." In a split second, I make a decision. I grab the laptop and the burner phone, shoving them into a bag along with the flash drive. Patricia moves to the window, peering out. "Fire escape," she says. "We can make it to the alley." As we climb out onto the metal structure, the door to the apartment bursts open. Shouts follow us as we descend as quickly as we can. My heart pounds in my ears, drowning out everything but the clanging of our feet on the iron steps. We reach the alley and start running. Patricia leads the way, navigating the back streets of Brooklyn with surprising familiarity. After several twists and turns, we emerge onto a busier street. Without missing a beat, Patricia hails a cab. As we slide into the back seat, she gives the driver an address I don't recognize. The cab pulls away just as I see two men in suits burst out of the alley we just left, looking around frantically. "Where are we going?" I ask, trying to catch my breath. "A safe place," Patricia responds, her eyes constantly checking the rearview mirror. "Somewhere we can review the evidence and plan our next move." As the cab weaves through Brooklyn streets, my mind races. The Syndicate, the evidence, Patricia's involvement. It's almost too much to process. But one thing is clear. The stakes have risen dramatically. Alex's voice echoes in my head. "Trust your instincts." Right now, my instincts are screaming that we're on the precipice of something monumental. The truth about Project Phoenix, the syndicate, and Alex's disappearance is within reach. But with that truth comes danger. Danger that's now all too real and closing in fast. As we drive towards an uncertain destination, I realize that there's no turning back. Whatever lies ahead, whatever secrets we uncover, I'm committed to seeing this through. For Alex, for justice, and for the truth that has eluded us for so long. The city blurs past the window, a fitting metaphor for how quickly my world has changed. In the span of a few days, I've gone from a woman searching for answers to a fugitive on the run from a shadowy organization. But with each revelation, each piece of the puzzle falling into place, I feel closer to Alex and the truth he sacrificed so much to uncover. Our cab turns onto a quieter street, and I brace myself for whatever comes next. The game has changed, but so have I. And I'm ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The cab drops us off in front of a nondescript brownstone in a quiet Brooklyn neighborhood. Patricia leads me up the steps and punches in a code on the keypad next to the door. As we enter, I'm struck by the contrast between the building's unassuming exterior and its high-tech interior. "Welcome to our contingency plan," Patricia says, flicking on the lights to reveal a space filled with computer monitors and communication equipment. Alex set this up months ago when he first suspected something was wrong with Project Phoenix. I take in the room, my mind racing. "How long have you two been investigating the syndicate?" Patricia sighs, sinking into a chair. "Almost a year. At first, it was just odd discrepancies in the financials. But the deeper Alex dug, the more sinister it became. The syndicate isn't just about money. It's about power and control on a scale we never imagined." I pull out the flash drive she gave me earlier. "So what exactly is on this?" "Everything," Patricia says, her eyes gleaming. "Financial records, communication logs, names of key players. It's the skeleton key to the syndicate's entire operation." We spend the next few hours poring over the data. The scope of the syndicate's operation is staggering. They've infiltrated not just our foundation, but dozens of other charities, using them as fronts for money laundering and influence peddling. Politicians, judges, business leaders. The list of those in their pocket seems endless. As we dig deeper, a pattern emerges. The syndicate isn't just corrupt. They're reshaping entire communities. By controlling housing projects like Phoenix, they're engineering demographic shifts, influencing voting patterns, and consolidating power block by block. "This is bigger than just Morrison," I mutter, staring at a complex web of connections on one of the screens. "He's just a cog in the machine." Patricia nods grimly. "The real power lies with a group they call the Council. We don't know who they are, but they're the ones pulling all the strings." A notification pops up on one of the monitors, an incoming encrypted message. Patricia tenses as she opens it. "It's from Marcus," she says, relief evident in her voice. "He's found something." The message is brief. "JFK Airport, Locker 837, password, Phoenix rises. Hurry." We exchange a look, both understanding the urgency. Whatever Marcus has found, it's clear he thinks it's crucial. The trip to JFK is tense. Every passing car, every glance from a stranger feels like a potential threat. We find the locker and retrieve its contents, a sealed envelope and a burner phone. Back in the safety of our hideout, we open the envelope. Inside is a single sheet of paper with a name and address. Elena Vasquez, 1810, Seaview Avenue, Brighton Beach. "Who's Elena Vasquez?" I ask, but Patricia shakes her head, looking as puzzled as I feel. The burner phone buzzes to life with a text. "Elena knows where Alex is. Trust no one else. Be careful." My heart leaps into my throat. A lead on Alex's whereabouts. It's what I've been hoping for since this all began. But why Brighton Beach? And who is this Elena? As we prepare to head to the address, Patricia's phone rings. She answers, her face growing pale as she listens. "We have to go," she says urgently after hanging up. "That was my contact at the NYPD. The safe house has been compromised. They're on their way here now." We grab what we can and flee, the sound of approaching sirens spurring us on. As we weave through back alleys and side streets, I can't shake the feeling that we're being herded, pushed toward some unseen destination by forces beyond our control. We finally lose our pursuers and find ourselves in a quiet park, both of us breathing heavily from the exertion. As we catch our breath, I turn to Patricia, a question that's been nagging at me finally bubbling to the surface. "Patricia," I begin, my voice low, "how did you know about the safe house? The one Marcus told me about?" She freezes, her eyes widening slightly. It's just a momentary slip, but it's enough. In that instant, I see the truth written across her face. "You've been playing me this whole time, haven't you?" I say, my voice barely above a whisper. Patricia's composure cracks, revealing a mix of guilt and desperation. "Isabella, please understand. They have my family. I didn't have a choice." The betrayal hits me like a physical blow. All this time, I thought we were working together, but she's been leading me into a trap. The syndicate's reach is even greater than I imagined. "Where's Alex?" I demand, anger and fear warring within me. "Is he even alive?" "He's alive," Patricia says quickly. "But the syndicate has him. They've been using him to control the Foundation, to keep the Project Phoenix operations running smoothly." My mind races, piecing together the implications. "And now they want me too, to complete their control." Patricia nods, tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry, Isabella. I never wanted any of this, but you have to believe me. The information I gave you about the syndicate is real. Use it. Take them down." Before I can respond, a black SUV screeches to a halt nearby. Men in suits pour out, heading straight for us. Patricia looks at me, her expression a mix of regret and resolution. "Run, Isabella. Find Elena. She's your only hope now." As the men close in, Patricia turns to face them, buying me precious seconds. I flee, my heart pounding, Patricia's betrayal and final act of redemption swirling in my mind. I run until my lungs burn, ducking through alleys and side streets, my destination clear, Brighton Beach. Elena Vasquez holds the key to finding Alex and unraveling the full extent of the syndicate's plan. As night falls over the city, I find myself alone, hunted, with only a name and address as my lifeline. The weight of the flash drive in my pocket reminds me of the explosive information I carry. Information that could bring down the syndicate if I can stay alive long enough to use it. Tomorrow, I'll find Elena. But tonight, I need to disappear, to become a ghost in this vast city. As I melt into the shadows of New York, I make a silent promise to Alex. Wherever he is, I will find you. And together, we'll bring the syndicate to its knees. The game has changed once again, but so have I. No more trusting, no more naivety. From now on, I'm on my own, and I'll trust no one but myself. The hunt for the truth continues, and I won't stop until I uncover every last secret, no matter the cost. The salty breeze of Brighton Beach whips through my hair as I make my way down Seaview Avenue. It's early morning, the boardwalk still quiet save for a few early joggers and elderly couples taking their constitutional walks. I've spent the night moving from one 24-hour diner to another, always watching, always alert. 1810. Seaview Avenue turns out to be a weathered beach house, its blue paint peeling under the relentless coastal air. I approach cautiously, every nerve on high alert. After Patricia's betrayal, I can't afford to take any chances. I knock on the door, my heart pounding. Moments pass, then the sound of shuffling feet. The door opens a crack, revealing a woman in her 60s, her silver hair tied back in a neat bun. "Elena Vasquez?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. The woman's eyes narrow, scanning me from head to toe. "Who's asking?" I take a deep breath. "My name is Isabella Martinez. I'm looking for Alexander Reed." At the mention of Alex's name, Elena's demeanor changes instantly. She ushers me inside, quickly closing and locking the door behind us. The interior of the house is modest but cozy, filled with books and old photographs. Elena gestures for me to sit at a small kitchen table. "I've been expecting you," she says, her accent a mix of Russian and New York. "Alexander said you would come eventually." My heart leaps. "You've seen him? When? Where is he now?" Elena holds up a hand, silencing my barrage of questions. "Patience, child. This is a story that must be told carefully. She bustles around the kitchen, putting on a kettle for tea. As she works, she begins to speak. I was Alex's nanny many years ago. I practically raised that boy. When he came to me 6 months ago, scared and desperate, I knew something terrible had happened. She sets 2 steaming mugs on the table and sits across from me. Alex uncovered something big. He said it went beyond just financial crimes. The syndicate, they're not just after money or power. They're reshaping society itself. I lean forward, hanging on her every word. How? Elena sips her tea thoughtfully. Project Phoenix was just the beginning. They're using it as a template, a way to control communities from the ground up. Housing, jobs, education. They're creating a system where they pull all the strings. But why? I ask, struggling to comprehend the scale of what she's describing. Power, Elena says simply. Pure, absolute control. Imagine being able to influence every election, every policy decision, all while remaining hidden in the shadows. My mind races, connecting the dots. And Alex threatened to expose all of this. Elena nods gravely. He had proof, hard evidence that could bring down the entire operation. That's why they came after him. Where is he now? I ask, hope and fear warring within me. Elena's eyes cloud with worry. I don't know. He was here for a while, but then he said he had to leave. To protect me. To protect you. The last time I saw him, he gave me this. She reaches into a drawer and pulls out a small ornate box. As she hands it to me, I recognize it immediately. It's a puzzle box Alex and I bought on our first trip to Japan together. My fingers move automatically, solving the intricate series of slides and buttons. With a soft click, the box opens. Inside is a single USB drive and a note in Alex's handwriting. The final piece. When the time is right, you'll know what to do. I love you, Bella. Tears prick my eyes as I clutch the note. It's the first tangible proof I have that Alex is alive, that he's still fighting. Elena reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. Alexander loved you more than anything in this world. Everything he did to protect you and what you built together. A sudden crash from outside makes us both jump. Elena rushes to the window, peeking through the curtains. Her face pales. They're here, she whispers. My blood runs cold. The syndicate? Elena nods, already moving with surprising agility for her age. She pushes aside a bookcase, revealing a hidden door. There's a tunnel that leads to the beach. Go, now. I hesitate, not wanting to leave her to face the syndicate alone. But Elena's eyes are steel. I've lived a long life, child. Alex entrusted me with keeping you safe. Now go. Finish what he started. With a heavy heart, I slip into the hidden passage. As the bookcase slides back into place, I hear the front door burst open. Elena's defiant voice rings out. You're too late. She's gone, and soon everyone will know the truth. I run through the dark tunnel, Alex's puzzle box clutched tightly to my chest. The sound of waves grows louder, and soon I emerge onto a deserted stretch of beach. In the distance, I see black SUVs parked in front of Elena's house. There's no time to mourn or to wonder about Elena's fate. I have to keep moving, have to stay ahead of the syndicate. The USB drive burns in my pocket, a digital powder keg that could blow their entire operation wide open. As I make my way down the beach, my resolve hardens. I'm done running, done reacting. It's time to take the fight to the syndicate. Alex left me the final piece of the puzzle, trusting that I would know what to do with it. And I do. The realization hits me like a bolt of lightning. I know exactly how to use this information, how to expose the syndicate in a way they can't possibly cover up or spin. I pull out my phone, not the burner, but my personal one that I've kept off until now. I dial a number I never thought I'd use, one Alex gave me years ago, for the gravest of emergencies. The phone rings twice before a gruff voice answers. This is Canton. I take a deep breath. This is Isabella Martinez. I have information about the syndicate and Project Phoenix. I need your help. There's a pause, then. I've been waiting for this call. Where can we meet? As I give him the details, I feel a shift in the air. The hunted is becoming the hunter. The syndicate thought they could control us, use us, break us. But they underestimated the power of love, of truth, of justice. I look out over the ocean, the rising sun painting the sky in hues of hope. Somewhere out there, Alex is fighting. And now, armed with the truth and a powerful ally, I'm ready to bring the fight to the syndicate's doorstep. The endgame begins now, and this time, I'm playing to win. The rendezvous point Canton chose is a small, nondescript cafe in the heart of Queens. As I push open the door, the smell of coffee and pastries washes over me, a stark contrast to the tension coiling in my stomach. My eyes scan the room, finally settling on a man in his late 50s, salt and pepper hair cropped close to his head, sitting alone in a corner booth. As I slide into the seat across from him, Canton's piercing blue eyes lock onto mine. "Isabella," he says, his voice low and gravelly. "Alex spoke highly of you. I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances." I nod, fighting to keep my voice steady. "Thank you for agreeing to help. I wasn't sure who else to turn to." Canton leans forward, his expression grave. "I've been investigating the syndicate for years, but they're like smoke, impossible to grasp. What you and Alex have uncovered could change everything." I pull out the USB drive, placing it on the table between us. This contains everything. Financial records, communications, names. It's the key to bringing down their entire operation. Canton's eyes widen slightly, the only indication of his surprise. "You understand the risks of what you're proposing? Once we start this, there's no going back. The syndicate will come at us with everything they have." "I understand," I say, my resolve hardening. "But they've already taken everything from me. It's time we take something from them. Their power, their anonymity, their freedom." A ghost of a smile crosses Canton's face. "You're just as fierce as Alex said." "All right, let's see what we're dealing with." We spend the next hour going through the files on the drive. Canton's experience proves invaluable, helping me connect dots I hadn't even seen before. The picture that emerges is staggering. The syndicate's influence extends to the highest levels of government, finance, and industry. "This goes beyond anything I imagined," Canton mutters, his brow furrowed. "They're not just controlling communities. They're shaping the future of the entire country. So how do we stop them?" I ask, the enormity of the task before us setting in. Canton leans back, his eyes distant as he thinks. "We need to hit them from multiple angles. The media, law enforcement, regulatory agencies, we need to create a storm they can't control." He pulls out a burner phone, dialing a number from memory. "It's time to call in some favors. I have contacts in the FBI, the SEC, and a few key news outlets. We'll coordinate simultaneous raids and exposés. The syndicate won't know what hit them." As Canton makes his calls, I feel a glimmer of hope for the first time in months. We have a plan, we have the evidence, and we have the element of surprise. But my thoughts keep drifting back to Alex. Where is he? Is he safe? As if reading my mind, Canton puts a hand on my shoulder. "We'll find him, Isabella. Alex is smart and resourceful. If anyone can survive this, it's him." The next 48 hours are a whirlwind of activity. Canton and I work tirelessly, coordinating with his contacts, preparing evidence packages, and planning our moves. We set up a secure base of operations in a safe house Canton maintains, transforming it into a command center for our operation. As the pieces fall into place, I can feel the momentum building. The syndicate has operated in the shadows for too long, but we're about to drag them into the light. The night before our coordinated strike, I find myself standing on the safe house's balcony, looking out over the city. The lights of New York twinkle below, oblivious to the storm that's about to break. Canton joins me, handing me a cup of coffee. "Big day tomorrow," he says quietly. "Are you ready?" I take a deep breath, steeling myself. As ready as I'll ever be. But there's still one piece missing: Alex. Canton nods, his expression softening. "I may have some news on that front. My sources indicate there's unusual activity at a syndicate-owned property upstate. It could be where they're holding him." My heart leaps. "We have to go there. We have to get him out." "Easy," Canton says, holding up a hand. "We can't risk tipping our hand now. The best thing we can do for Alex is to bring down the syndicate. Once their operation is in chaos, we'll have a better chance of extracting him safely." I know he's right, but the thought of leaving Alex in their hands for even one more day is agonizing. Still, I force myself to focus on the bigger picture. Okay, I say finally. We stick to the plan. But the moment we can move on that property, we do. Canton squeezes my shoulder reassuringly. Deal. Now get some rest. Tomorrow, we change the world. As I lie in bed that night, sleep eludes me. My mind races with thoughts of Alex, of the syndicate, of all we've uncovered and all that's at stake. I replay every moment of the past few months, every clue, every revelation. And then, in the quiet darkness, a new thought strikes me. Something about the financial records, a pattern I hadn't noticed before. I bolt upright, my heart pounding. I rush to the command center, pulling up the files on one of the computers. As I dig deeper, my suspicion crystallizes into certainty. There's another layer to the syndicate's plan, one so audacious it's almost unbelievable. Just as I'm about to call for Canton, a noise from the hallway makes me freeze. Footsteps, too heavy to be Canton's, are approaching the door. The handle turns slowly, and I realize with a jolt of terror that our safe house isn't safe anymore. In that moment, as the door begins to open, I know that everything is about to change. Again. The endgame I thought we were approaching was just the beginning. The real battle, for the truth, for justice, for Alex, for our very future, starts now, and I'm ready for it. The door swings open and time seems to slow. My hand moves instinctively to the gun Canton insisted I carry, but I stop short as I recognize the figure silhouetted in the doorway. Alex, I whisper, hardly daring to believe my eyes. He steps into the light, and my heart soars. It's him, thinner, with dark circles under his eyes and a few new scars, but unmistakably Alex. Without a word, we rush into each other's arms, holding on as if letting go might make this moment disappear. I'm so sorry, Bella. Alex murmurs into my hair. I never wanted to put you through this. Before I can respond, Canton bursts into the room, gun drawn. He lowers it immediately upon seeing Alex. Well, I'll be damned, he says with a wry smile. Looks like our extraction plan just got a lot simpler. As the initial shock wears off, questions flood my mind. How did you escape? How did you find us? Alex's expression turns grim. I didn't escape. They let me go. The implications of his words send a chill down my spine. If the syndicate released Alex, it means they're confident. Maybe too confident. We spend the next hour bringing Alex up to speed on our plan to expose the syndicate. As we talk, I can see the wheels turning in his mind. That brilliant intellect I fell in love with working overtime. It's a good plan, he says finally, but it's not enough. I share with them my latest discovery, the pattern in the financial records that points to something even bigger than we imagined. Alex's eyes widen as he connects the dots. Of course, he breathes. It's not just about controlling communities or influencing politics. They're positioning themselves to control the global financial system itself. Canton leans forward, his expression intense. How? Alex quickly outlines the syndicate's ultimate plan. A coordinated economic attack that would trigger a global financial meltdown, allowing them to step in as saviors with their own cryptocurrency and financial infrastructure. If they succeed, Alex concludes, they'll have more power than any government or corporation in history. The weight of this revelation settles over us. Our original plan, while it would expose much of the syndicate's operation, wouldn't stop this financial coup. So what do? I ask, looking between Alex and Canton. Alex's eyes meet mine, and I see the fire that first drew me to him rekindled. We use their plan against them. We trigger the meltdown ourselves, but on our terms. What follows is a frantic race against time. We work through the night, modifying our strategy, reaching out to trusted contacts in the financial world, and preparing for a battle on two fronts, in the public eye and in the shadowy world of high finance. As dawn breaks, we set our plan in motion. Canton coordinates with his law enforcement contacts, initiating raids on key syndicate properties across the country. Simultaneously, Alex and I begin our financial counterattack, using the very algorithms the syndicate developed to destabilize their own holdings. The next 24 hours are chaos. News breaks of a massive criminal conspiracy, with evidence implicating some of the most powerful people in the country. Financial markets fluctuate wildly as our moves and the syndicate's counter-moves ripple through the system. Through it all, Alex and I work side by side, our connection stronger than ever. We're no longer just fighting for the truth or for justice. We're fighting for the future we always dreamed of building together. As night falls again, we receive word that the tide is turning. Key members of the syndicate are in custody, their carefully constructed facades crumbling under the weight of the evidence we've presented. In the financial arena, our targeted attacks have nullified the syndicate's advantage, turning their own weapons against them. Exhausted but exhilarated, Alex and I stand on the balcony of our safe house, watching as the city below buzzes with the biggest news story in decades. "It's really over, isn't it?" I ask, still hardly able to believe it. Alex pulls me close, pressing a kiss to my temple. "This chapter is, yes, but our work is just beginning. There's a lot of healing to be done, a lot of trust to rebuild." I turn to face him, taking in every detail of his face, the face I feared I might never see again. Whatever comes next, we face it together. No more secrets, no more separate battles. Alex's eyes shimmer with emotion. "Together," he agrees. "Always." As we stand there, wrapped in each other's arms, I feel a sense of peace wash over me. The road ahead won't be easy. There are still questions to be answered, systems to be reformed, and a foundation to rebuild. But for the first time in months, I'm not afraid of the future. The syndicate sought to control the world through fear, manipulation, and greed. But they underestimated the power of love, truth, and the indomitable human spirit. Like the mythical phoenix, we've risen from the ashes of their destructive plot, stronger and more determined than ever. Tomorrow, we'll face the public, tell our story, and begin the long process of rebuilding. But tonight, in this moment, it's enough to know that we've won, that good can triumph over evil, that love can conquer all. As the first light of a new day begins to paint the sky, I look at Alex and smile. Whatever challenges the future holds, I know we'll face them the way we faced the syndicate, together, with courage, intelligence, and an unwavering commitment to the truth. The phoenix has risen, and our story, our real story, is just beginning.